Hi everyone, I just wanted to share a piece of a letter that has been issued out from the Executive Office of the President. It was just issued out yesterday, January 27, 2025. It's from the Office of Management and Budget in Washington, D.C. In case you haven't heard about it, I'm just going to read it here because anyone that's an American constituent would be interested in this, or probably should be interested in it, because it does impact a lot of areas. But nothing that I read should be construed to specifically impact Medicare or Social Security benefits, which could impact, people, their relatives, whatever. But this is just a general broad statement from the president. The subject is a temporary pause of agency grant, loan, and other financial assistance programs. The American people elected Donald J. Trump to be President of the United States and gave him a mandate to increase the impact of every federal taxpayer dollar. In fiscal year 2024, of the nearly $10 trillion that the federal government spent, more than $3 trillion was federal financial assistance, such as grants and loans. Career and political appointees in the executive branch have a duty to align federal spending and action with the will of the American people as expressed through presidential priorities. Financial assistance should be dedicated to advancing administration priorities, focusing taxpayer dollars to advance a stronger and safer America, eliminating the financial burden of inflation for citizens, unleashing American energy and manufacturing, ending wokeness, in parentheses, and weaponization of the government, promoting efficiency in government, and making America healthy again. That's interesting. The use of federal resources to advance Marxist equity, transgenderism, and Green New Deal social engineering policies is a waste of taxpayer dollars that does not improve the day-to-day lives of those we serve. This memorandum requires federal agencies to identify and review all federal financial assistance programs and supporting activities consistent with the president's policies and requirements. Excuse me. For example, during the initial days of his administration, President Donald J. Trump issued a series of executive orders to protect the American people and safeguard valuable taxpayer resources, including protecting the American people against invasion, January 20th, 2025, reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid on January 20th, 2025, putting America first in international environmental agreements, January 20th, 2025. No comment. It's interesting though. Unleashing American energy, January 20th, 2025. Ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing on January 20th, 2025. Defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government, January 20th, 2025. And enforcing, this is like the longest run-on sentence, it's like a whole paragraph. Enforcing the Hyde Amendment, January 24th, 2025. These executive orders ensure that federal funds are used to support hardworking American families. To implement these orders, each agency must complete a comprehensive analysis of all their federal financial assistance programs to identify programs projects, and activities that may be implicated by any of the President's executive orders. In the interim, to the extent permissible under applicable law, federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of all federal financial assistance and other relevant agency activities that may be implicated by the executive orders, including, but not limited to, financial assistance for foreign aid, non-governmental organizations, DEI, which means diversity, equity, and inclusion, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. This temporary pause will provide the administration time to review agency programs and determine the best uses of the funding for those programs consistent with the laws and the President's priorities. The temporary pause will become effective January 28th, 2025, which is today, the day that I'm reading this because I just got it, at 5 o'clock p.m. It doesn't say what time zone, but I'm assuming it's Eastern Standard Time since that's the time zone that the White House is in. Even before completing their comprehensive analysis, federal agencies must immediately identify and legally mandated any legally mandated actions or deadlines for assistance programs arising while the pause remains in effect. Federal agencies must report this information to OMB along with an analysis of the requirement. OMB also directs federal agencies to pause all activities associated with open NOFOs, such as conducting merit review panels. Wow. No later than February 10th, 2025, agencies shall submit to OMB detailed information on any programs, projects, or activities subject to this pause. Each agency must pause issuance of new awards, disbursement of federal funds under all open awards, and in other relevant agency actions that may be implicated by the executive orders to the extent permissible by law, until OMB has reviewed and provided guidance to your agency with respect to the information submitted. OMB may grant exceptions allowing federal agencies to issue new awards or take other actions on a case-by-case basis to the extent required by the law. Federal agencies may continue taking certain administrative actions such as closeout of federal awards, so stopping the money, 2 CFR 200.344, or recording obligations expressly required by law. Additionally, agencies must, for each federal financial assistance program, assign responsibility and oversight to a senior political appointee to ensure federal financial assistance conforms to administration priorities. 2. Review currently pending federal financial assistance announcements to ensure administration priorities are addressed and, subject to program statutory authority, modify unpublished federal financial assistance announcements, withdraw any announcements already published, and, to the extent permissible by law, cancel awards already awarded that are in conflict with the administration with administration priorities. That's called reneging. And ensure adequate oversight of federal financial assistance programs and initiate investigations when warranted to identify underperforming recipients and address identified issues up to and including cancellation of awards. I just read the full 2-page letter. You can see the little logo and whatnot. Wow. Um, I'm going to reserve my comments for now. No, there's a lot that I want to say, but I believe this is going to have a huge impact on a lot of people. It already is having impact on many groups of people, I'm sure. I'm sure it may impact those that I work with or those that I assist in my daily life. It may impact family members, friends, neighbors, community members. This was a mouthful. And I know it's a lot to take in. I literally just read you the full 2-page thing from the White House. Well, the Office of Management and Budget, OMB. If you need to, rewind and go back to the beginning of this video. Turn on your closed captions so that way you can have the captions showing, because I literally read you the entire thing. And save this document and share it. Please, please share it. Because I can't be the only one that's just thinking, what in the world? How do you, I mean, and I know people have their biases and whatever. But how do you give awards and then take away those awards? That's reneging. You know, I'm just gonna end it right there. I gotta think about that. I gotta read it again. And I'm gonna see if there is any recourse for the people. If there's recourse for people in the community, I will try to find that out. And I don't know. It's a lot going on in that. And taking away grant dollars, you know, especially if you say that you've awarded someone something and then you're going to turn around and take it away. What's that? Really, seriously, what's that? But I'll save that for another day, because I said my first video back on YouTube was going to be about international travel and the things that I learned. And I was going to be comparing some things that I see here in America with things that I've seen in other nations. But I could still do that, even, you know, with this. With the whole climate, what was it, climate piece that's in there. I already had plans on talking about it, so when I do talk about it later, don't think I'm just doing it because of this letter. I'm just, wow. I hope people have actually paid attention to the videos I've been making for years, because I've got hundreds of videos out there. Feel free to go back and look up certain things if you need to, like, prepare for different types of situations in case you find yourself in a bind or potentially going to be in a bind. It's time to team up and to get ready. This year is going to be quite interesting.